Good Monday morning, and thank you for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Jason Hackett. Let's get to your headlines. This morning, Lindsey Vonn's 2026 Olympic run is over after this terrifying crash during the women's downhill final in Cortina. The Minnesota native was left with a broken leg. Her crash stunning fans across the world and right here at home. We have team coverage this morning, starting with Audrey Russo at Buck Hill in Burnsville.
Good morning. Yeah, this is where Lindsey Vonn got her start at Buck Hill. So now as we wait to hear from the Olympian herself, the rest of the world is reacting to the end of her Olympic career. Now, the 41-year-old skier came out of retirement specifically for this moment to ski this particular course. 9 days before the race, she ruptured her left ACL, but was still determined to have her chance in the Olympic spotlight. But just 13 seconds into the women's downhill event, she clipped a gate and fell hard. Vonn ended up getting airlifted to a hospital, and she's now being treated for a broken leg.
I've been the team physician for the last 28 years with the U.S. ski team, and Lindsey showed up as a 15-year-old on a helicopter ski trip with us a number of years ago, and so I've got to witness her whole career, and nobody would have thought she would compete really less than a week later from injured her knee in Crowns, Montana. So very heroic on her part, and I'm sorry it ended this way.
Now, Vonn became the first American woman to win a gold medal in the downhill women's ski event. That was in 2010 in Vancouver. Again, we are still waiting to hear from her and her team. We're continuing to monitor for statements, and we'll bring them to you as soon as we get them. Back to you.
But some bittersweet news for Team USA despite Lindsey Vonn's horrific crash. Teammate Breezy Johnson won gold in the downhill ski for women. Johnson endured several knee injuries throughout her career, including missing the 2022 Beijing Olympics due to a torn ACL. Johnson is only the second U.S. skier to win this event since 2010, when Vonn won her gold medal. And for three-time Olympic medalist Jessie Diggins, a rough start ended up dashing her chances at placing in the women's skiathlon. Diggins got stuck in some downhill traffic of other racers that caused her to stumble, ending up placing 8th overall. Now, she's going to have another shot tomorrow in the cross-country skiing sprint classic event. And then after punching their ticket to the semifinals this weekend, USA's Olympic curling team duo Corey Dropkin and Corey Tesi lost the first round-robin session in the preliminaries this morning to Italy. That score 6-7. The Team USA will still have a chance playing Italy again later this morning at 11:05 in the semifinals. Those finals will be at 11:05, where the gold medal will be on the line. That will be Tuesday at 11:05, those finals. A live look at our nation's capital this morning, where Republicans and Democrats are locked in a standoff over changes to immigration enforcement. Congress has just 1 week to come to a compromise on the list of 10 demands Democrats have to fund the Department of Homeland Security. All as Congress is tackling the Epstein investigation, with lawmakers today able to start reviewing the unredacted documents and photos the Justice Department recently released. That's after women who survived Epstein's abuse released a new video demanding more accountability. NBC's Alice Barr has the very latest from Washington.
Hi there. Lawmakers have serious questions about what the Justice Department chose to redact and why. Looking for answers today as they begin reviewing unredacted Epstein files and see an appearance from Epstein's jailed accomplice. This morning, a renewed spotlight on the Jeffrey Epstein files, with a group of survivors appearing in a powerful PSA during the Super Bowl.
We're standing together.
Standing together.
Because this girl deserves the truth.
The video points to the 3 million files still not released and calls on viewers to demand transparency from the Attorney General. Starting today, members of Congress can begin reviewing the unredacted version of the millions of pages the Justice Department has released on the late sex offender. Lawmakers coming armed with questions.
Where are the rest of the documents? Why did they release victims' names?
Members of the House Oversight Committee also getting a look today at Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell, who's set to be deposed in a virtual appearance from the Texas prison camp where she's serving her 20-year sex trafficking sentence. Her attorneys have told the committee she plans to plead the Fifth and won't answer questions. It all comes as lawmakers are facing down a Friday deadline when the Department of Homeland Security is set to run out of funding unless negotiators can reach agreement on reforms to ICE and Border Patrol's immigration enforcement.
They've gone way too far and the American people want them reined in.
Republicans have signaled openness to some Democrat demands, calling others non-starters.
I'll tell you what's not going to be in there: amnesty for illegal aliens. I'll tell you what's not going to be there: stripping away protections for law enforcement officers that are trying to protect themselves.
Pressure building in a big week on Capitol Hill.
In the traditional Super Bowl presidential interview, President Trump and NBC's Tom Llamas zeroed in on the economy, with the president again asserting he inherited a mess, but saying we are in the Trump economy now, and pointing to strong GDP growth, even as polling shows many Americans frustrated with stubbornly high prices. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
The top lawyer for ICE in Minnesota is no longer with the agency. A Department of Homeland Security spokesperson confirmed that Chief Counsel Jim Stolley has retired this week after 31 years. His retirement comes the same week an ICE attorney was removed from detail after telling a district judge during a court hearing that they were overwhelmed with immigration cases, saying, quote, "This system sucks, this job sucks." Minnesota courts have been inundated with immigration lawsuits since the start of Operation Metro Surge. Well, this morning, there are growing calls in Minneapolis for city leaders to save the footage from the city's street cameras, with more than 2,000 federal immigration agents still here. There are over 200 cameras set up across Minneapolis. Under its current policy, the city deletes all videos from the cameras after 14 days, unless there is a specific data or law enforcement request to save the footage. But people are asking the city to save their videos in case it's needed in court as Operation Metro Surge continues.
The civilian videos have demonstrated the false narratives that the federal government is putting forward, and that's essential evidence. So in light of that, why not save the city's video evidence? And the more videos, the better.
We asked Mayor Frey about this, but he was not available for an interview this weekend. In a statement, a city spokesperson says anyone who wants to access video recorded by the cameras can submit an online data request within 7 days of an incident. In this morning's Communities at Care, we're highlighting a group of volunteers using math lessons to help young kids build confidence. Megan McPherson joined the Math Masters at Eastview Elementary in Lakeville.
Getting kids excited about learning can be a challenge. But at Eastview Elementary in Lakeville, this classroom of 4th and 5th graders is already buzzing. A full hour before the school day even begins. In less than 3 months, these Math Masters
it's your favorite thing of the week
will team up to represent their grade and their school at a regional competition. They're drilling order of operations, memorizing math facts, all part of the prep. And their coaches are there to bring the fun.
I'm here to talk about the relationship between math and music today.
More than a dozen volunteers, all retirees, have stepped in to help get these kids ready.
All right. I always love working with kids. This is a perfect outlet for me.
And it's not just about solving problems on paper. The goal is teaching kids how to think, how to break down challenges.
You could just do 6 to I think it's first round 2.
And build confidence along the way.
If you have like a question, they'll like help you through it. And if you're confused, they don't just like let you just like copy the person next to you. So you really actually like learn from it.
And they're really like welcoming and stuff, and they like help you if you're stuck, and they don't make a big announcement about it.
I definitely feel like a bond with probably most of them, if not all.
That bond is exactly what the volunteers hope students carry with them long after the competition is over.
We want the kids to learn how to apply logic and methodologies to solving math problems, and realize that if they can do that with math problems, they can do it with every other kind of problem they're going to face in life.
For the Math Masters of Eastview Elementary, learning starts early.
1 minute to go.
Where curious kids meet generous volunteers and numbers turn into confidence.
They're all really kind and old.
In Lakeville, Megan McPherson, KARE 11 News.
Stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.